This audiobook reveals the ancient truth that your feelings hold the key to creating your reality. As you listen, you'll uncover how your emotions communicate directly with the universe, setting the wheels of manifestation in motion. The answers you've been searching for lie within. It's time to awaken to your true creative power. Feeling is the answer. Introduction. In the depths of time, a truth has remained hidden, waiting for those ready to embrace its transformative power. This ancient wisdom, passed down through generations of mystics and sages, reveals the extraordinary force that shapes the very fabric of existence: your feelings. Your feelings are not mere responses to life's circumstances. They are the sacred language through which you communicate with the universe itself. Within you lies an untapped wellspring of creative power, a force so potent it can reshape reality according to your deepest desires. This power has always been yours, though it has remained veiled behind the illusions of the material world. The secret powers you possess extend far beyond the realm of thought. While your mind may chart the course, it is your feelings that set the wheels of creation in motion. Each emotion you experience sends ripples through the cosmic ocean, attracting experiences that match its unique vibration. Joy calls to joy, peace attracts peace, and love manifests love in countless forms. These teachings have been safeguarded by those who understood their profound significance. Now, as you hold these words, you stand at the threshold of an extraordinary awakening. The universe has guided you to this moment, knowing you are ready to claim your birthright as a conscious creator of your reality. Let go of all you think you know about how the world works. Open yourself to a truth that transcends the limitations of logic and reason. Your feelings are the key that unlocks the door to infinite possibilities. They are the bridge between your desires and their manifestation, the sacred force through which dreams take form in the physical world. As you journey through these pages, you will discover how to harness this ancient power that has always resided within you. The time has come to awaken to your true nature as a being of unlimited creative potential. Part 1. Awakening Your Forgotten Power. Chapter 1. The Sacred Power Within You. In the ancient lands of the East, a wanderer traversed the desert wastes, seeking a legendary treasure. In their possession was a weathered map, its edges frayed by time, its symbols mysterious and ethereal. For years they followed its markings faithfully, yet the treasure remained elusive. One night, beneath the stars, exhausted and questioning their journey, they felt a stirring in their heart, a warmth, a knowing. As they closed their eyes and embraced this feeling, the map's symbols began to glow, revealing a truth far greater than gold. The map was not meant to lead outward, but inward. Your emotions are not mere responses to life. They are the very force that shapes your reality. Like the wanderer with the mystical map, you too possess an inner compass that guides you toward your desires. When you attune to your feelings, you activate the ancient mechanics of creation itself. Joy, love, peace, and abundance are not destinations to reach, but frequencies to embody. The universe responds not to your thoughts alone, but to the emotional energy you radiate. In a distant valley lived a gardener who inherited a plot of barren land. While others saw only dust and stone, she approached each day with love in her heart. As she worked, she held the vision of a flourishing garden, feeling the joy of abundance as if it already existed. Slowly, tender shoots emerged from the earth. With each passing season, Her emotional dedication transformed the wasteland into a paradise of blooming flowers and fruit-laden trees. Visitors would ask about her methods, but she would simply smile and say, "I planted my feelings first, and the flowers followed." Like this wise gardener, your emotional state is the soil from which your reality grows. When you nurture thoughts with positive feelings, you create fertile ground for your desires to take root. Conversely, feelings of lack, doubt, or fear create conditions where your dreams struggle to thrive. The garden of your life reflects the emotional seeds you plant each day. Now embrace this ancient practice of emotional awareness. Find a quiet moment as the sun rises. Take your journal and throughout the day, pause at 3 intervals: morning, noon, and evening. Write not only what you feel, but the quality and depth of each emotion. Notice how your feelings shift and flow, how they influence your choices and experiences. This practice, handed down through generations, will reveal the patterns of your emotional weather, showing you the precise ways your feelings shape the garden of your existence. Through this awareness, you begin to master the sacred art of conscious creation. Chapter 2. The universe listens to feeling. In a time beyond memory, there lived a musician whose instrument was carved from ancient wood. Each morning, as dawn painted the sky, she would sit in stillness until her heart overflowed with gratitude. Only then would she lift her instrument and begin to play. Her melodies carried not just notes, but the pure vibration of joy, love, and abundance. As she played, flowers would bloom out of season, wells would overflow with crystal water, and the very air would shimmer with golden light. The villagers whispered that her music had awakened the benevolent spirits of the land, but the truth was far simpler. She had discovered how to transmit the frequency of pure blessing through her feelings. The universe responds not to your words or thoughts, but to the vibrational signature of your emotions. Like radio waves that travel unseen through the air, your feelings broadcast signals that the cosmos receives and reflects. When you master the art of emotional vibration, you speak directly to the creative force that shapes reality. This is why 2 people can speak the same words of affirmation, yet experience vastly different results, and one speaks from the head, while the other resonates from the heart. By the shores of an ancient sea lived a fisherman who had learned to read not just the visible tides, but the invisible currents of abundance. While others struggled against the waves, he would close his eyes and attune himself to the rhythm of the water. His nets would fill effortlessly, not because he knew where the fish were, but because he had aligned his own emotional state with the flow of universal abundance. "The sea," he would say, "responds not to our demands, but to our harmony." Just as the fisherman aligned with the ocean's flow, you too can harmonize with the universal current of manifestation. Your emotions are like the tides. When you align them with what you desire, you naturally draw those experiences toward you. The key lies not in forcing or struggling, but in matching the vibrational frequency of what you wish to create. Now find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you wish to manifest. But instead of focusing on the thing itself, immerse yourself in the feeling of already having it. If it's abundance you seek, feel the deep security and joy of prosperity flowing through your life. If it's love, let your heart overflow with the warmth of deep connection. Hold this feeling for several minutes, allowing it to permeate every cell of your being. This is not mere imagination. You are actually broadcasting the vibrational frequency that will call forth your desire from the unseen realm into physical manifestation. Chapter 3. Why Thoughts Without Feeling Fail. In the grand halls of an ancient library dwelt a scholar who had amassed the world's finest collection of treasure maps. Day after day he studied their intricate details, memorizing every landmark and calculating every distance. His knowledge was vast, yet his coffers remained empty. While others ventured forth and returned with gold and jewels, he remained surrounded by his precious papers, forever planning but never embarking. "When I have mastered every detail," he would say, "then I shall begin." But that day never came, for knowledge without faith is like a bird that refuses to trust its wings. You may have gathered countless techniques, affirmations, and methods for manifestation, yet like the scholar's maps, these tools remain powerless until activated by the electric current of genuine feeling. Your thoughts are the compass, but your emotions are the feet that walk the path. When you understand this truth, you will see why some who know little about spiritual law manifest greatly, while others who study extensively remain unchanged. The universe responds not to the precision of your thoughts, but to the authenticity of your emotional vibration. A simple feeling of pure joy carries more manifestation power than 1,000 perfectly crafted affirmations spoken without heart. In a humble workshop at the edge of town lived a potter whose early works, though technically perfect, remained lifeless and unsold. One day, in despair, she stopped trying to create and simply sat with her clay, letting her hands move with love. As emotion flowed through her fingers, something magical happened. Her pots began to glow with an inner light that drew people from miles around. Each piece now carried not just shape, but spirit, transformed by the alchemy of genuine feeling. Like the potter's creations, your intentions come alive when infused with emotional energy. The difference between a dream that manifests and one that remains forever distant lies not in its clarity of thought, but in the depth of feeling that accompanies it. Take a moment now to choose an affirmation that resonates with your deepest desire. Rather than simply repeating the words, allow yourself to sink into the feeling of this truth. If your affirmation is, "I am abundantly blessed," let your body fill with the warmth of gratitude and security that abundance brings. Feel it in your cells, in your breath, in the space around you. Let this emotion build until it feels more real than your current circumstances. This is the art of emotional manifestation. When your feelings align with your words, reality must reshape itself to match your inner state. Chapter 4, Your Emotional Compass. In the depths of an ancient forest where shadows danced with light, a traveler wandered far from their intended path. In their hand they held a peculiar compass, passed down through generations. Unlike ordinary compasses, this one possessed a unique quality. Its needle would only point true north when the holder's heart found perfect stillness. The more the traveler worried about their lost way, the more erratically the needle spun. Hours passed until, exhausted, they sat beneath an old oak tree. As their breathing slowed and their mind cleared, the compass needle steadied, revealing the way home. You possess within yourself a similar instrument of guidance, your emotional compass. Like that mystical device, your feelings serve as an unerring guide, pointing toward what aligns with your highest good. When you experience joy, peace, or excitement, these emotions signal alignment with your true path. Conversely, feelings of discord, anxiety, or resistance indicate a departure from your authentic direction. The universe speaks through the language of feeling. Each emotion carries a message, guiding you toward or away from that which serves your highest purpose. Your task is not to force your feelings into submission, but to listen to their wisdom with gentle attention. Far across the endless seas, a sailor navigated through treacherous waters. Storm clouds obscured the stars by which they steered, and fear threatened to overwhelm their heart. Yet they remembered the ancient wisdom. The stars remained constant above the clouds, just as truth remained steady beneath turbulent emotions. Instead of fighting against the storm, the sailor found their center. As their inner waters calmed, glimpses of starlight broke through the clouds, showing them the way forward. With each moment of clarity, their course became true, leading them safely to harbor. Like this sailor, you need not wait for perfect conditions to find your way. The guidance you seek exists even in life's storms. Your positive emotions, peace, enthusiasm, inspiration, are like breaks in the clouds, revealing the constant stars of truth that guide your journey. Now take your journal and reflect upon the emotions you've experienced over the past few days. For each significant feeling, positive or challenging, write down what it might be telling you about your alignment with your desires. What were you doing or thinking when you felt most at peace? When did you feel most alive with possibility? These moments are your compass pointing true north, showing you the path to manifestation. Let your emotional wisdom guide you. Trust that, like the mysterious compass and the eternal stars, your feelings offer precise guidance toward all you wish to create. Chapter 5. The Vibrational Blueprint of Reality. In the heart of an ancient city dwelt a sculptor whose hands had yet to touch clay, yet whose greatest masterpiece already existed within. Each morning this artist would sit in silence, eyes closed, feeling the curves and contours of the figure that called to be born. Only when the feeling of the finished work resonated through their entire being did they reach for the clay. You possess this same creative power. Just as the sculptor's vision preceded physical form, your emotional vibration creates the unseen blueprint of your reality. The universe responds not to what you think, but to the frequency you emit through your feelings. Like a tuning fork that sets other instruments vibrating at its frequency, your emotional state sends ripples into the fabric of creation. When you align your feelings with the essence of your desires, you create an energetic mold into which physical reality naturally flows. This is the hidden mechanism behind all manifestation. Feeling creates the template and life fills the form. In a distant valley lived a weaver whose patterns held unusual power. As their shuttle moved across the loom, weaving threads of gold and silver, something extraordinary occurred. The emotions they felt while working became woven into the fabric itself. When they worked with joy, their textiles brought happiness to all who touched them. When peace filled their heart, their tapestries calmed troubled minds. As word spread of these magical textiles, the entire village began to transform. Gardens grew more abundant, children laughed more freely, and even the weather seemed to reflect the harmony emanating from the weaver's home. The villagers discovered that the weaver's secret lay not in the threads themselves, but in the feelings infused into each piece. Like this weaver's emotions rippling through their community, your vibrational state affects far more than your personal sphere. Every feeling you cultivate sends waves into the universal fabric, attracting circumstances that match your inner frequency. Now find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and bring awareness to your current emotional state. Notice the quality of this vibration without judgment. Is it heavy or light? Contracted or expansive? Gently begin to shift your focus toward a feeling of joy. Perhaps recall a moment of pure happiness, or imagine something that fills your heart with delight. Allow this feeling to grow naturally, as if turning up the intensity of a light. Next, introduce gratitude. letting appreciation flow through you for all that is good in your life. Finally, let love fill your being. Pure, unconditional love that asks nothing in return. Remain in this elevated vibration for several minutes, knowing that as you maintain these higher frequencies, you reshape the template of your reality. This is your true creative power, the ability to sculpt your future through the art of feeling. Chapter 6: The Chains of Negative Emotion. In the shadows of an ancient forge there lived a blacksmith whose skill was unmatched in all the realm. Day after day they crafted magnificent works of iron and steel, yet unknown to them, their greatest creations were invisible. Chains forged not from metal but from their own thoughts of fear, doubt, and anger. With each bitter memory harbored, each fearful thought entertained, the chains grew stronger. "None value my work," they would mutter, hammering their resentment into phantom links. "I'll never achieve what others have," they whispered, weaving threads of self-doubt into ethereal restraints. Though their physical creations brought them fame, these unseen bonds kept them bound to a prison of their own making. You too may be forging such chains without awareness. Every negative emotion you hold on to becomes a link in the invisible barriers that separate you from your desires. These self-imposed limitations are not carved in stone. They are but shadows cast by the mind, given power only through your continued belief in them. In the heart of an enchanted forest stood an ancient tree where a phoenix made its nest. As the magnificent bird approached the end of its cycle, it carried not only the weight of its physical form, but also the burden of all it had experienced. Memories of storms weathered, battles fought, and losses endured had gradually dimmed its once brilliant flames. Yet the phoenix understood a truth that few comprehend. Transformation requires release. As flames consumed its form, the bird surrendered not just its physical body, but also its emotional burdens. Each painful memory, each fear, each regret turned to ash, allowing its spirit to rise renewed, unburdened by the weight of the past. Like the phoenix, you must release what no longer serves you to make space for new beginnings. The emotions that once protected you may now be the very chains holding you back from soaring to greater heights. Take now a piece of paper and pen. Find a quiet space where you can reflect undisturbed. Write down every limiting emotion that weighs upon your spirit, every fear, every doubt, every resentment. Pour onto the page all that holds you back from embracing your full potential. When you have finished writing, hold the paper in your hands. Feel the weight of these emotions you have carried for so long. Acknowledge their past purpose in your life, then choose to release them. Whether through flame, water, or earth, let the physical destruction of this paper represent the dissolution of these emotional chains. As you watch these limitations transform, know that you are following the phoenix's path, releasing the old to make way for rebirth. Feel the lightness that comes with letting go, the freedom that awaits when you choose to unburden your spirit. Chapter 7: Reflections of the Inner World. In a hidden valley untouched by time, a mystic discovered an ancient mirror unlike any other. Its surface, crafted from polished obsidian, did not reflect the physical form, but revealed something far more significant: the emotions dwelling within the observer's heart. As the mystic gazed into its depths, they saw not their face, but swirling colors representing their inner state. Clouds of doubt, sparks of joy, shadows of fear. You possess such a mirror, though it may not be made of stone. Your life circumstances serve as a faithful reflection of your emotional world. Like the mystic's mirror, Your reality shows you not what you think you are, but what you truly feel within. The universe operates through this law of reflection with unwavering precision. When you harbor feelings of unworthiness, your external world arranges itself to validate these emotions. When you cultivate genuine gratitude and joy, your circumstances align to mirror this inner abundance. This is not mere coincidence, but the operation of an ancient principle. Your outer world must match your inner state. In a distant kingdom lived an artist whose paintings captured more than mere images. Their work seemed to shift and change, reflecting the artist's inner journey. When their heart was heavy with unresolved pain, their landscapes appeared dark and stormy. As they began to heal their wounds and embrace self-love, their canvases transformed. Colors brightened, shadows lifted, and new life emerged in every scene. Yet the artist never touched these older works. The paintings changed because the artist's perception had shifted. As their inner world transformed, so too did the lens through which they viewed their creations. You are both the artist and the artwork of your life. Your emotional state paints every experience, relationship, and circumstance you encounter. Look upon your life as the artist's gallery. Each aspect reflects the emotions you hold most deeply. Your relationships mirror your feelings about love and connection. Your work reveals your beliefs about value and worth. Your home reflects your inner sense of security and belonging. Take now your journal and choose 3 areas of your life that feel most significant. Perhaps it is your career, your relationships, or your health. For each area, write down the current circumstances you observe. Then, with gentle honesty, explore the emotions that might be painting this particular picture of your reality. What feelings arise when you think about your financial situation? What emotions color your relationships? What inner beliefs might be shaping your physical well-being? Let the mirror of self-reflection show you the true artist of your experience, your own feelings. Chapter 8. Awakening to the Awareness of Feeling. In a remote mountain monastery, a young monk approached their master, seeking the path to enlightenment. Each day the monk would sit in meditation, striving to reach higher states of consciousness. Yet peace remained elusive, like water slipping through their fingers. One morning the master placed a crystal bowl before the monk. "Watch," they instructed, striking the bowl gently. The sound rang pure and clear, then slowly faded. Your emotions are like this sound. They arise, peak, and dissolve. Your task is not to stop the sound, but to witness its journey. Day after day, the monk observed their inner landscape with the same attention they gave to the crystal bowl. They noticed how anger would surge like a sudden storm, then gradually dissipate. Joy would bubble up like a spring, then naturally recede. In time, the monk discovered that freedom lay not in controlling these emotional waves, but in watching them flow with peaceful awareness. Your emotions flow through you like notes in an endless symphony. When you resist them, judge them, or try to force them away, you create discord in your vibrational field. Yet when you learn to observe them with gentle awareness, you begin to master the art of emotional alchemy. In a distant village lived a musician renowned for their ability to create harmony from chaos. Students would bring their instruments, often frustrated by their inability to play in tune. The musician never touched the strings directly. Instead, they taught their students to listen, truly listen, to each note. Before you can adjust the string, they would say, you must first hear its current tone. Only then can you guide it toward harmony. One student brought a violin that had been silent for years. As they began to play, harsh sounds filled the air. Yet the musician remained serene, guiding the student to notice each discordant note without judgment. Gradually, as awareness deepened, the student learned to recognize subtle variations in pitch. With this newfound sensitivity, they could finally bring their instrument into perfect tune. Like this violin, your emotional instrument requires careful attention. Each feeling offers valuable information about your vibrational state. When you learn to observe your emotions without immediately reacting to them, you gain the power to fine-tune your inner frequency. Close your eyes now and settle into a comfortable position. For the next few minutes, simply observe the emotions flowing through you. Notice any feelings that arise, whether pleasant or uncomfortable, without trying to change them. Like watching clouds pass across the sky, let each emotion move through your awareness. When you find yourself getting caught in a particular feeling, gently return to the role of the observer. This practice of emotional mindfulness will gradually attune you to your own vibrational frequency, allowing you to make conscious adjustments toward harmony. Chapter 9: The Dreamer's Secret Tool. In a distant land where dreams whispered on the wind, there lived a child whose heart overflowed with visions of beauty. Each night before sleep, this young one would close their eyes and picture a magnificent garden, feeling the joy of flowers blooming beneath their fingertips. They imagined the sweet fragrance of roses, the gentle brush of butterfly wings, and the warm sunlight dancing through leaves. Most importantly, they felt the pure delight of walking through this paradise as if it already existed. One morning, the child awakened to find tiny sprouts breaking through the soil outside their window. Day by day, as they continued to nurture their vision with feelings of wonder and love, the garden grew more magnificent. Soon, the once barren earth transformed into the very paradise they had imagined, drawing visitors from far and wide who marveled at its beauty. The universe responds not to mere thoughts, but to the living energy of imagination infused with feeling. When you combine clear vision with authentic emotion, you create a magnetic force that draws your desires into physical form. Your imagination serves as the sacred workshop where dreams are first given life through the power of feeling. In a bustling marketplace, a storyteller gathered crowds with tales that stirred the heart. Their words painted vivid pictures in the minds of listeners, but it was the emotions their stories evoked that truly transformed the village. As people felt the joy, courage, and wonder within each tale, these very qualities began manifesting in their daily lives. The marketplace that once echoed with complaints soon rang with laughter. Neighbors who had lived in fear began helping one another, feeling the warmth of community they had experienced in the stories. The storyteller understood a profound truth. When many hearts unite in feeling the same vision, reality shifts to match that shared vibration. Through the power of imagination, they helped others not just envision, but feel a better world into being. Just as the storyteller's tales shape their village, your imagined feelings shape your reality. When you infuse your visions with genuine emotion, you speak directly to the creative force of the universe. The key lies not in merely picturing what you desire, but in feeling its reality so vividly that your entire being resonates with its truth. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Choose one desire close to your heart, and create a scene where this desire has already manifested. See yourself living this reality in vivid detail. Notice the colors, sounds, and textures around you. Most importantly, allow yourself to feel the emotions of having your desire fulfilled, the joy, gratitude, peace, or excitement. Let these feelings fill every cell of your body until your vision feels as real as the present moment. Hold this state for several minutes, knowing that as you align your emotional frequency with your desire, you draw it ever closer to manifestation. Chapter 10. The Emotional Gateway to Abundance. In the heart of an ancient citadel stood a mysterious treasure chest, its surface adorned with symbols of prosperity. The gatekeeper, entrusted with its protection, held a secret passed down through generations. The chest would only yield its riches to those who approached it with a heart full of gratitude and joy. Many sought to force it open with strength or cunning, but the chest remained steadfast, responding only to the pure vibration of appreciation. You must understand that abundance flows not from external circumstances, but from your inner state of being. When you cultivate feelings of gratitude and joy, you align with the natural frequency of prosperity. The universe mirrors back to you precisely what you feel within. Those who chase abundance from a place of lack only create more experiences of scarcity, while those who radiate genuine appreciation naturally attract more reasons to be grateful. Think of your emotional state as the soil from which all abundance grows. Just as fertile earth naturally produces a bountiful harvest, a heart rich with positive feelings naturally attracts prosperity. Your elevated emotions serve as the key that unlocks the infinite abundance of the universe. In a fertile valley lived a farmer whose fields yielded harvests beyond measure. While neighboring farms struggled, their crops withering under the same sun, this farmer's land flourished year after year. The secret lay not in their techniques, but in the love they poured into every seed they planted. Each morning, they walked their fields with overwhelming appreciation for the miracle of growth, feeling joy in every sprout and leaf. Their emotions nourished the soil as surely as rain and sunlight, creating conditions where abundance could not help but flourish. Just as the farmer's love transformed their fields, your positive emotions create the conditions for prosperity in your life. When you tend to your inner garden with gratitude and joy, you create an environment where abundance naturally thrives. Like seeds responding to nurturing sunlight, your dreams and desires flourish when bathed in the warmth of your appreciation. This is not mere wishful thinking, but a profound truth that has guided seekers throughout the ages. The energy you cultivate within shapes the reality you experience without. By maintaining a heart filled with thankfulness and wonder, you become a magnet for the very blessings you seek to manifest. To align yourself with the frequency of abundance, begin each day with this sacred practice. Take a quiet moment with your journal and write 3 specific things for which you feel genuine gratitude. Let yourself fully experience the warmth of appreciation for each blessing, no matter how small it may seem. Feel the joy of having these gifts in your life, allowing that emotion to fill your entire being. This daily ritual will gradually shift your vibrational state, opening the gates to greater abundance in all forms. Part 2. Deepening your emotional mastery. Chapter 11. The Science of Emotion and Creation. In the hidden valleys of the celestial mountains dwelt a scientist whose instruments detected what the ancients had always known: that emotions radiate measurable frequencies into the world around them. Within their mystical laboratory, crystals resonated differently when exposed to joy versus sorrow, and plants flourished or withered based on the emotional energy in their presence. You stand now at the threshold of understanding how your feelings shape the very fabric of reality. The quantum field, that invisible ocean of possibility surrounding you, responds not to your thoughts alone, but to the vibrational frequencies of your emotions. Each feeling you experience sends ripples through this field, attracting experiences that match its frequency. When you emanate joy, you broadcast a high-frequency signal that draws similar energies toward you. Conversely, Lower frequency emotions like fear or anger attract circumstances that mirror those vibrations. This is not metaphor, but measurable truth. Your emotions are energy in motion, interacting with the quantum realm in ways science is only beginning to comprehend. Picture your feelings as radio signals, broadcasting continuously into the universe. Just as a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to receive a particular station, your emotional frequency determines which possibilities from the quantum field manifest in your experience. You are always transmitting, always receiving through the medium of your feelings. In a village by the sea lived a healer renowned for their ability to sense the subtle vibrations of those who sought their aid. They understood that illness was often a manifestation of discordant emotional frequencies. Through their own aligned state of peace and love, they helped others shift their vibrational patterns, restoring harmony to body and spirit alike. As their patients' emotional frequencies rose, their physical symptoms naturally resolved, demonstrating the profound connection between feeling and form. Like this gifted healer, you possess the power to consciously shift your vibrational frequency. Your emotions are not simply reactions to life, they are creative forces that shape it. By choosing to cultivate elevated emotional states, you literally transform the quantum possibilities available to you. Now find a quiet space and close your eyes. Bring awareness to how different emotions feel in your physical body. Notice the heaviness of sadness, the tightness of fear, the lightness of joy. Feel how love expands your chest, how peace softens your shoulders. Then, imagine yourself as a beacon of light, radiating the high frequencies of joy, gratitude, and love. Let these elevated emotions fill every cell of your being, sending their transformative vibrations out into the quantum field. This practice of emotional awareness and intentional frequency raising will attune you to the creative power of your feelings. Chapter 12. Inner Harmony. In the heart of an ancient village lived a blacksmith whose reputation spread far beyond the mountain valleys. While others could forge serviceable blades, this craftsman created weapons of extraordinary power. The secret lay not in their technique alone, but in their ability to unite their feelings, thoughts, and actions into perfect harmony. When they stepped to the forge, their heart burned with passion, their mind held clear vision, and their hands moved with purposeful grace. The swords they created seemed to hum with an inner light, for they carried the resonance of complete alignment. You too possess this power of unified creation. When your emotions, thoughts, and intentions flow together like three streams joining into one mighty river, manifestation becomes effortless. Yet how often do your thoughts point one way while your feelings pull another? You may think of abundance while harboring fears of lack, or envision love while clutching to past hurts. This misalignment creates resistance, like a wheel turning against itself. In the distant peaks of the sacred mountains, there lived a circle of dancers who had mastered the art of moving as one. Their secret lay not in rehearsal, but in their ability to align their inner states completely. Each dancer's joy fed the others, their shared intention lifting them beyond individual limitation. Together, they created performances of such beauty that witnesses spoke of seeing the divine made manifest. These dancers mirror a truth within you. When your emotions fully support your intentions, when your thoughts and feelings move in harmony, you access a power greater than the sum of its parts. Like instruments in an orchestra playing in perfect tune, alignment creates resonance that amplifies your creative force. Examine the areas of your life where you feel stuck or where manifestation seems to elude you. Often, you'll discover that your emotions and intentions have fallen out of step. You may intend prosperity while feeling unworthy, or desire health while harboring anxiety. This misalignment creates resistance that blocks the natural flow of manifestation. Take your journal now and draw 2 columns on a fresh page. In one column, write your conscious intentions, what you wish to create or attract. In the other, honestly record the emotions you feel when you think about these desires. Where do you find harmony? Where do you sense discord? For each area of misalignment, craft a simple practice to bring your feelings into resonance with your intentions. You might use visualization, gratitude, or gentle self-reflection to shift discordant emotions into alignment with your deepest desires. Remember, true power emerges not from forcing change, but from creating harmony between all aspects of your being. As you align your emotions with your intentions, you'll discover manifestation becoming as natural as breathing. Chapter 13, Feel it first, manifest it later. In the endless expanse of golden sands, a wanderer searched for water as their supplies dwindled. Though maps spoke of an oasis, none appeared on the horizon. As thirst and desperation mounted, they remembered an ancient teaching. What you seek already exists, if only you can feel its reality in your heart. Closing their eyes, the wanderer began to experience the cool splash of water on their skin, the sweet taste on their tongue, the gentle shade of palm fronds overhead. When their eyes opened, there before them stretched a vibrant oasis, as if it had existed all along. The universe responds not to what you think possible, but to what you feel as real. When you embody the emotional state of having your desire fulfilled, you align with its vibration, drawing it into physical form. Like a radio tuning to a specific frequency, your feelings tune you to the reality you wish to experience. This truth echoes through the ages. What you feel is real in your heart must manifest in your world. Success, love, abundance, these are not distant possibilities, but present realities waiting for you to feel them into being. When you walk in the emotional certainty of their existence, the universe conspires to match your inner state. In a distant artist's workshop, a sculptor stood before an untouched block of marble. Others saw only stone, but the artist's eyes gleamed with recognition. The masterpiece already exists, they would say. I simply feel its presence and remove what doesn't belong. Day after day they worked with unwavering certainty, feeling the finished form beneath their hands before the chisel ever touched stone. As the marble fell away, the very figure they had felt emerged, as if it had been waiting to be revealed. Your desires exist now in the same way, complete and perfect, waiting for your feeling recognition to bring them forth. When you embody the emotion of your fulfilled desire, you become like the sculptor who sees and feels the finished work within the stone. Take a moment now to settle into a quiet space. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Choose one desire you wish to manifest and begin to feel it as if it already exists. Experience the joy, the satisfaction, the deep knowing of its reality. What emotions surge through you as you live in this manifestation? How does your body feel carrying this truth? Let every cell vibrate with the certainty of your desire's fulfillment. Spend time here strengthening these feelings until they become more real than any current circumstance that suggests otherwise. This practice of emotional embodiment is not mere imagination. It is the active creation of your reality through the power of feeling. Return to this state daily, allowing the emotions of your fulfilled desire to become your natural way of being. Chapter 14, Transforming Fear into Freedom. In the misty mountains of ancient times, a young warrior stood trembling before their first battle. Each clash of steel in the distance sent waves of fear through their body. Yet in that moment of deepest dread, they remembered the words of their teacher. Fear is not your foe, but a torch illuminating the path to your power. You too stand at the threshold of transformation, where fear whispers of danger and retreat. Yet within this emotion lies a sacred teaching, one that has guided masters through the ages. Fear serves not as your enemy, but as a compass pointing toward your growth. When you embrace it as your teacher, it transforms into the very force that propels you forward. The universe responds to your emotional vibration with perfect precision. When fear clouds your heart, it creates a barrier between you and your desires. Like a radio signal disrupted by static, fear scrambles the clear broadcast of your intentions. Yet this disruption holds within it the seeds of your expansion. High in the mountains stood a golden cage, home to a magnificent bird who dreamed of soaring through endless skies. Day after day, it watched other birds glide past its prison, wings spread wide in freedom. Though the cage door stood open, the bird remained inside, paralyzed by fear of the vast unknown. One morning, as sunlight streamed through the bars, the bird realized its fear of flying was far smaller than its pain of remaining confined. In that moment of clarity, it stepped to the edge and spread its wings. The wind caught its feathers, and suddenly it understood. Fear had been the only cage all along. Just as this bird discovered its true nature through confronting fear, you hold within you the power to transform limitation into liberation. Your fears mark the boundaries of your current existence, showing you precisely where expansion awaits. When you step toward what frightens you, you reclaim the energy once spent on resistance. Now take a moment to sit quietly with yourself. Bring to mind one fear that has held you back. Feel its presence in your body. Notice where it resides, how it moves, what it whispers. Rather than pushing it away, welcome it as a messenger bearing gifts of growth. Write this fear on paper, acknowledging its presence without judgment. Next, ask yourself, what opportunity for expansion does this fear reveal? What strength might you discover by moving toward it? Write down one small action you can take today that would move you through this fear, not around it. Perhaps it's making that phone call you've avoided, or speaking your truth in a relationship, or taking the first step toward a dream that frightens you. Choose this action carefully. It should be small enough to feel manageable, yet significant enough to represent real movement forward. Then, with the same courage that has guided seekers through the ages, take this step. Let each movement through fear become a testament to your growing power. Chapter 15, The Magnetic Power of Gratitude. In a valley blessed by ancient wisdom lived a farmer who understood the sacred language of gratitude. Each morning, before the sun painted the sky, they would walk their fields offering thanks, not just for the abundance before them, but for the promise held within each seed. Even when drought scorched the earth and their neighbors despaired, the farmer's heart remained full of appreciation for both the gentle rain and the teaching sun. As seasons passed, those who watched closely noticed something remarkable. While other fields withered, the farmer's crops flourished, drawing sustenance from an unseen source. The secret lay not in their techniques, but in their unwavering gratitude that nourished the soil more deeply than any rain. Your emotional state serves as the fertile ground from which all manifestations grow. When you cultivate genuine gratitude, you activate a magnetic force that draws more abundance toward you. This truth echoes through the ages. Appreciation multiplies what you already have, while its absence diminishes even the greatest wealth. In a distant marketplace, there lived a merchant whose practice of gratitude transformed not just their own fortune, but the lives of all they touched. With each transaction, they offered sincere thanks, not merely for the exchange of coins, but for the opportunity to serve others. When others hoarded their wealth, the merchant shared generously, grateful for the ability to give. As their appreciation flowed outward, their prosperity grew exponentially, proving that gratitude creates an endless cycle of abundance. This merchant discovered what masters have always known. Gratitude is not simply a response to good fortune, it is the very force that creates it. Like a key that unlocks invisible doors, your grateful heart opens pathways to greater abundance. And now, find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. As you settle into stillness, bring to mind 3 aspects of your life that fill you with genuine appreciation. Perhaps it's the warmth of sunlight on your face, the loyalty of a friend, or the strength within your body. Choose one of these blessings and let yourself sink deeply into the feeling of gratitude it inspires. Notice how this appreciation feels in your body, perhaps as warmth in your chest or a lightness in your spirit. Allow this feeling to expand, filling every cell with its radiance. Move to the second blessing, then the third, treating each with the same tender attention. Let this practice remind you that gratitude is not just a passive response. It is a powerful force you can consciously cultivate to transform your reality. Chapter 16. The Vibration of Joy. In a village where shadows lingered long and smiles had grown scarce, there lived a child whose laughter rang pure as morning bells. While adults carried their burdens like heavy stones, this child found delight in the smallest wonders, a butterfly's dance, the way leaves whispered in the wind, the patterns clouds made across the sky. At first, the villagers paid little mind to these bursts of joy. Yet slowly, like dawn breaking over distant hills, something began to shift. The baker, hearing the child's giggles, remembered old songs and hummed while kneading bread. The weaver, watching the child chase sunbeams, began weaving brighter colors into their cloth. One by one, hearts lightened, faces softened, and the village itself seemed to brighten, all sparked by a child's simple gift of joy. The universe responds not to the words you speak or thoughts you think, but to the frequency you emit. Joy is the highest vibration you can offer, acting as a powerful magnet that draws your desires to you with remarkable speed. When you cultivate genuine joy, you align with the natural state of the universe, one of endless expansion and celebration. In a grove where ancient trees stood sentinel, a musician discovered that when they played from pure joy, rather than duty or desire for praise, something magical occurred. As their melody soared, creatures emerged from the forest depths. Deer stepped softly from shadows, birds added their songs, and people from neighboring villages found themselves drawn to the harmony. Soon the grove became a gathering place where differences melted away and hearts beat as one. This musician embodied a truth often forgotten in the pursuit of desires. Joy itself is the ultimate manifestation. When you make joy your primary focus, all else flows naturally. Your desires manifest not through striving and struggle, but through the magnetic power of your elevated state. Take a moment now for this sacred practice. Find a clean page in your journal and title it, My Sources of Joy. Let your heart guide your hand as you list everything that brings genuine delight to your spirit, from the grand to the seemingly insignificant. Perhaps it's the first sip of morning tea, the sound of rain on your roof, or the way your pet greets you each day. Next to each item, note how this joy feels in your body. Does it create a warmth in your chest, a lightness in your step, a smile that rises unbidden? Choose one item from your list and commit to experiencing it fully tomorrow, treating it not as a simple pleasure but as a sacred practice in manifestation. Remember, every moment of genuine joy raises your vibration and accelerates the manifestation of your desires. Make this joy list your treasure map, returning to it whenever you wish to elevate your frequency and speed your journey toward your dreams. Chapter 17. Healing Emotional Scars. In a village renowned for its weavers lived an artisan whose skill lay not in creating new tapestries, but in mending those that time and circumstance had torn. When others saw only ruin, she perceived possibility. With threads of gold and silver, she would carefully repair each break, each worn spot, until the tapestry emerged more captivating than before, its scars transformed into patterns of light. You must understand that your emotional wounds, like tears in a precious tapestry, need not diminish your power to create. These wounds, when properly tended, become channels through which greater wisdom flows. The universe responds not just to your present vibration, but to the full spectrum of your emotional experience, including those parts you may wish to hide or forget. Unresolved pain creates energetic blocks like knots in the fabric of your being, restricting the flow of manifestation. Yet when you approach these wounds with gentle awareness, allowing yourself to feel what was too difficult before, healing begins. As you integrate these experiences, your capacity to attract and receive expands exponentially. In the mountains, a great river once encountered a landslide that blocked its ancient path. For days, its waters pooled and gathered, pressing against the obstacle. Rather than remaining stagnant, the river found a new course, carving through softer stone, creating waterfalls and valleys where none had existed before. When travelers came upon this new path, they marveled at its beauty, never knowing it was born from obstruction. Like this river, you possess the innate wisdom to transform obstacles into opportunities. Every emotional scar you carry holds the potential to deepen your understanding, expand your compassion, and strengthen your connection to the universal flow. Your past difficulties have not weakened you. They have prepared you for greater manifestations. Now, take your journal and find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Write about a past hurt that still carries an emotional charge. Describe not just what happened, but how it felt then and how it feels now. Then, ask yourself, what strength did this experience reveal in you? What wisdom did it impart? How has it shaped your capacity to understand yourself and others? Finally, write a letter to this experience, acknowledging its role in your journey. Begin with these words: "You came into my life as a teacher, and now I understand." Chapter 18. Feeling and Releasing. Along the ancient Silk Road, a traveler set forth carrying a backpack laden with treasures collected from every port and marketplace. Each item held meaning, tokens of past achievements, symbols of future dreams, talismans against failure. With each step, the weight bore down upon their shoulders until the journey itself became a burden. One evening, resting beneath a starlit sky, the traveler noticed a desert fox moving swiftly across the dunes, carrying nothing yet lacking nothing. In that moment, understanding dawned. True freedom lies not in possession, but in trust. The art of manifestation follows this same truth. while you must feel your desires deeply, allowing them to resonate within your being, attachment to their form or timing creates resistance. When you cling too tightly to how your dream should unfold, you restrict the infinite ways the universe can bring them to you. Consider how a flower blooms. It contains within itself the perfect pattern of its unfolding, yet never strains or struggles. It simply opens to the sun, trusting in the natural order of growth. Your desires are like seeds planted in fertile soil. Your role is to nourish them with positive emotion, then release them to the wisdom of universal law. High in the mountains, a young monk spent years trying to master the art of flying paper kites. Day after day, he fought against the wind, attempting to control every movement. His kites would twist and crash, until one day his master shared a secret. The wind knows the way. Your task is not to direct, but to dance with it. When the monk finally surrendered to the wind's wisdom, his kite soared higher than ever before, dancing in perfect harmony with the currents of air. So too must you learn to trust in the currents of universal intelligence. Your task is not to manipulate every detail, but to maintain the feeling of your desire while allowing the path to reveal itself. Take now a single piece of paper. Upon it, write one desire you have been holding too tightly, one outcome you have been trying to control. Feel the full depth of this desire one last time, knowing that your feeling has already set the wheels of creation in motion. Then, in sacred ceremony, release this paper to the elements, through fire, water, or earth, symbolizing your trust in the universe's perfect timing and infinite wisdom. As you perform this ritual, speak these words: I release my attachment to the way, trusting in the wisdom that guides all things. As I let go, I make space for miracles beyond my imagination. Chapter 19. Faith. In ages past, a lighthouse keeper dwelled upon rocky shores where tempests raged and waves crashed against jagged cliffs. Night after night they climbed the winding stairs to tend the sacred flame that guided ships to safety. When storms gathered and darkness pressed close, they never wavered in their duty, knowing that somewhere in the vast waters, sailors depended on their light. You too are a keeper of light, the inner flame of faith that burns steady despite life's storms. Your emotions, when anchored in unwavering trust, become a beacon that guides your desires safely to shore. The universe responds not to fleeting wishes, but to the sustained power of your emotional certainty. When you maintain positive feelings regardless of external circumstances, you demonstrate a faith that moves mountains and parts seas. Deep in an ancient valley, a mighty tree stood alone, its branches reaching skyward while other vegetation withered in a devastating drought. Travelers wondered at its vibrant leaves and abundant fruit, unaware that far below the parched earth its roots had found hidden springs of pure water. This tree teaches a vital truth. Your emotional well-being need not depend on surface conditions. By anchoring your feelings in the deep waters of faith, you remain steadfast when circumstances appear barren. Your trust becomes the invisible source that nourishes your manifestations. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness. The power to manifest lies not in perfect conditions, but in perfect faith. When you anchor your emotions in absolute trust, external reality must reshape itself to match your inner certainty. Like the mighty tree whose roots pierce through layers of earth to find sustenance, your unwavering belief penetrates beyond surface appearances to tap into the infinite source of all creation. This is the sacred truth that masters and mystics have known through the ages, that your internal state of being holds dominion over all external circumstances. When you cultivate unshakable faith, you command the very forces of creation to align with your deepest convictions. Now, find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to settle into your heart center. Visualize your desire as if it has already manifested, feeling the joy and gratitude of its fulfillment. Let this vision anchor itself in absolute certainty. As doubts arise, simply observe them passing like clouds across the sky, while you remain rooted in unshakable faith. Feel the solid ground of trust beneath you, knowing that the universe is already orchestrating events in your favor. Repeat silently, "I anchor my faith in the infinite wisdom of the universe. My trust is unwavering, my certainty complete. What I desire is already mine, and I feel the truth of its presence now." Maintain this practice for several minutes, allowing your emotional state to align fully with the reality of your fulfilled desire. Let faith become your foundation, unmoved by temporary appearances. Chapter 20. Daily Rituals for Emotional Alignment. In a distant monastery nestled among mist-shrouded peaks, there lived a monk whose presence radiated peace and contentment. Yet this monk had not always known such serenity. As a young novice, their mind churned with restless thoughts and conflicting emotions. One dawn, while sweeping the temple steps as they had done countless times before, they received a revelation. Transformation comes not from grand gestures, but from small acts performed with complete presence. From that moment, they approached each daily task as a sacred ritual: the morning meditation, tending the garden, preparing meals, and evening contemplation. Over time, these simple practices reshaped not only their inner world, but the very fabric of their existence. You hold within you this same power of transformation through ritual. Each moment offers an opportunity to align your emotional state with the frequencies of creation. The universe responds not to sporadic bursts of intention, but to the steady rhythm of conscious practice. Consider how the seasons change not in an instant, but through the patient turning of countless days. Your emotional mastery follows this same natural law. Through daily devotion to practices that elevate your vibration, you create an unstoppable momentum toward manifestation. In a bustling town square stood the workshop of a master clockmaker. Each morning before dawn, they would arrive to tune their instruments with meticulous care. Travelers often questioned why such daily precision was necessary when the clock seemed to keep perfect time. The clockmaker would smile and say, "It is not the occasional adjustment that maintains harmony, but the faithful practice of daily alignment." This wisdom speaks directly to your journey of emotional mastery. Just as the clockmaker maintains precision through daily attention, you too must tend to your emotional alignment with regular devotion. Each morning brings a fresh opportunity to calibrate your inner state with the frequency of your desires. The practice that follows is not merely a routine, but a sacred ritual of transformation. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Begin by expressing gratitude for 3 specific blessings in your life, feeling the warmth of appreciation fill your heart. Next, close your eyes and visualize your deepest desires as already fulfilled, allowing the emotions of joy and fulfillment to wash over you. Finally, take a moment to observe your current emotional state with gentle awareness. This ritual becomes your daily compass, guiding you back to alignment when life's currents pull you off course. Through consistent practice, you create an unshakable foundation for manifesting your desires. Create your personal emotional alignment ritual by combining these elements. Morning gratitude. List 3 things you're thankful for. Visualization. Spend 5 minutes feeling your desires as fulfilled. Evening reflection. Review your emotional state and adjust as needed. Choose a specific time each day for your ritual and commit to it for 21 days. Part 3. Becoming an emotionally infinite creator. Chapter 21. The Architect of Reality. In the heart of an ancient city lived a master builder known for creating structures of such beauty that they seemed to emerge from dreams into reality. While others rushed to stack stone upon stone, this builder would spend days in silent contemplation, eyes closed, hands resting gently in their lap. Those who passed by wondered why they appeared idle while other builders toiled. What these onlookers failed to understand was that the master builder had discovered the secret of creation itself. Before touching a single stone, they would first build each structure completely within their heart and mind, feeling the solid foundation beneath their feet, experiencing the soaring heights of each tower, sensing the flow of life through every archway and corridor. Only when the emotional blueprint felt absolutely perfect would they begin the physical work. You too are a master builder of reality. Your emotions serve as the invisible architecture that shapes the visible world around you. When you approach creation with conscious intention, feeling the reality of your desires with unwavering clarity, you set in motion forces beyond ordinary understanding. The universe responds not to what you think about, but to what you feel with certainty. Each emotion you cultivate becomes a cornerstone in the foundation of your experiences. Joy builds pathways to more joy. Peace creates structures of lasting harmony. Love expands into ever greater expressions of itself. In a sunlit studio dwelled an artist whose early works reflected the uncertainty in their heart. Muted colors and hesitant brushstrokes told tales of doubt and fear. Yet as they learned to paint from a place of joy and inner confidence, their canvases transformed. Colors grew bold and vibrant, each brushstroke flowing with purpose and power. The artist had discovered that their emotional state shaped not only their art, but their entire reality. This truth extends to every aspect of your existence. You are constantly painting the canvas of your life with the colors of your emotions. When you consciously choose to create from elevated emotional states, your reality naturally aligns with those frequencies. Take a blank journal and create an emotional blueprint of your ideal life. Rather than focusing solely on external circumstances, write about how you wish to feel in each area. How do you want to feel when you wake each morning? What emotions do you want to experience in your relationships? What is the emotional tone of your work life? How does financial abundance feel in your body? What sensations arise when you imagine perfect health? Write in present tense as if you are already experiencing these emotions. Let yourself fully inhabit each feeling as you describe it. This blueprint becomes your emotional North Star, guiding all future manifestations. Chapter 22. Feeling as the source of infinite power. In the heart of an endless desert walked a sage whose wisdom had been sought by kings and peasants alike. Those who journeyed to find them often brought water skins and provisions, fearing the harsh conditions of their pilgrimage. Yet the sage carried nothing, moving through the shifting sands with serene confidence. When asked about their sustenance, the sage would smile and gesture to an empty patch of sand. "Here flows an endless spring," they would say, visible only to those who trust in its presence. Many dismissed these words as the ramblings of one too long in the sun, but those who stayed, who allowed their hearts to open beyond what their eyes could see, witnessed a miracle. From the seemingly barren ground, would bubble forth the purest water they had ever tasted. You, too, stand before an infinite wellspring of creative power. It flows not from the earth, but from the depths of your own being, connecting you to the limitless energy of the universe itself. Your feelings are the key that unlocks this boundless reservoir. When you align with emotions of joy, love, and abundance, you tap into a force that knows no boundaries or limitations. This truth echoes in the tale of the keeper of the eternal flame. In a remote mountain temple stood a lantern unlike any other. While ordinary flames required constant tending and fuel, this light responded to something far more precious, the love of its keeper. Those who observed noticed that when the keeper approached with thoughts of duty or obligation, the flame remained small and weak. But when they came with hearts full of love and devotion, the light would grow until it illuminated the entire temple. The flame did not consume fuel in the ordinary sense. It fed on the keeper's emotional energy, growing stronger with each loving thought, each grateful moment. As the keeper's capacity for love expanded, so too did the light's brilliance, creating an endless cycle of increasing radiance. This ancient wisdom reveals a fundamental truth about your own creative power. The energy of your emotions, like the keeper's love, is self-sustaining and self-amplifying. Each time you choose to cultivate positive feelings, you strengthen your connection to the infinite source within. Close your eyes now and place your hands over your heart. Breathe deeply and recall a moment of pure joy or profound gratitude. Feel this emotion beginning to stir within your chest. With each breath, allow this feeling to grow stronger, brighter, more vibrant. Imagine it as a glowing light expanding through your entire body. As you continue breathing, sense how this emotional energy becomes self-sustaining, feeding itself, growing stronger with each cycle of breath. Notice how your entire being begins to vibrate at this elevated frequency. You are now touching the infinite reservoir of creative power that has always existed within you. Chapter 23. Becoming Abundance Itself. In the markets of an ancient city, a traveler named Zara wandered among the stalls filled with spices, silks, and precious metals. Unlike other merchants who counted their coins obsessively, Zara carried only a small pouch, yet moved through the marketplace with the confidence of one who possessed great wealth. When others saw only scarcity, Zara witnessed abundance flowing through every exchange, in the smile of a child, the warmth of the sun, the sharing of stories between strangers. As seasons passed, an unusual phenomenon occurred. Though Zara gave freely of what little she possessed, her small pouch never emptied. Instead, it seemed to overflow with exactly what was needed in each moment. Those who knew her wondered at this mystery until a wise elder explained, "Zara sees abundance in all things, and so abundance naturally finds its way to her. She has discovered that wealth flows not to those who grasp, but to those who recognize its presence everywhere. The universe responds not to your words or actions alone, but to the feeling tone of abundance you carry within. When you perceive wealth in the simple moments of life, in a kind word, a gentle breeze, a moment of laughter, you align with the natural flow of prosperity. This alignment magnetizes more experiences of abundance into your reality." Consider the tale of Mira, the baker whose small shop sat at the edge of a struggling village. Each morning, she baked bread with joy in her heart, giving away the first loaf to anyone in need. Rather than depleting her resources, this daily act of generosity seemed to multiply her provisions. Soon her single loaf became 2, then 4, then enough to feed the entire village. Those who observed Mira noticed something remarkable. She never gave from a sense of obligation or lack. Instead, each gift flowed from her genuine delight in sharing. The more she gave with joy, the more abundance flowed through her bakery. Her shelves remained stocked, her flour bins full, as if the universe itself responded to her generous spirit. This sacred truth reveals itself. Abundance multiplies when shared from a heart overflowing with joy. The act of giving, when aligned with feelings of plenty, creates a channel through which more prosperity can flow. Now embrace this ancient practice. Choose one act of generosity to perform today. It need not involve money or material goods. Perhaps share your time, your knowledge, or simply your presence with another. As you give, focus your attention not on what you are losing, but on the expansive feelings of abundance that arise within you. Notice how this emotional state begins to attract more experiences of plenty into your life. Let your giving flow from a place of wholeness, knowing that you are connected to an infinite source of abundance. Feel the joy of sharing ripple through you, creating waves of prosperity that return multiplied. In this way, you become both a channel and a magnet for the universe's endless flow of abundance. Chapter 24, The Ripple Effect. In the heart of a tranquil valley, a young girl stood beside a still pond. As she dropped a single stone into the water, circles of energy rippled outward, transforming the mirror-like surface into waves of flowing beauty. Each ripple touched the shore, creating new patterns that danced across the water's surface until the entire pond moved in harmony with that first, simple action. Your feelings possess this same transformative power. Like the stone cast into still waters, every emotion you cultivate sends invisible ripples into the fabric of reality. These vibrations touch the lives of others, creating waves of change that extend far beyond your immediate sphere. The universe speaks through feeling, and your emotional state broadcasts a signal that influences all who encounter it. When you choose to embody joy, peace, or love, you become a living transmitter of these frequencies. Others naturally attune to your vibration, often without conscious awareness, and begin to resonate with these elevated states. This truth manifested in the tale of the laughing child of Somber Town. In this place, where worry had cast long shadows, a small boy began each morning with uncontainable laughter. At first, the townspeople found his joy strange, even inappropriate, but day by day his pure delight began to stir something within them. A baker found herself humming while kneading bread. A merchant started greeting customers with genuine warmth. Children who had forgotten how to play began dancing in the streets. Within a season, the town's very nature transformed. Gardens bloomed where none had grown before. Neighbors helped one another without being asked. The boy's laughter had awakened a remembrance of joy within each heart, creating a symphony of positive emotion that transformed the entire community. This wisdom reveals a profound truth. Your emotional state is not merely personal, it is a force for universal change. When you cultivate feelings of abundance, peace, and joy, you become a beacon that lights the way for others to discover these states within themselves. Find a quiet moment in your day to generate a feeling of genuine positivity, perhaps gratitude, kindness, or joy. Allow this emotion to fill your being completely. Then, consciously share this feeling with another person through a smile, a kind word, or a simple act of generosity. Observe how your emotional offering creates ripples in their experience. Notice how they might pass this feeling on to others, creating waves of positive change that extend beyond your initial interaction. Remember, you need not change the entire world at once. Like the single drop in the pond, begin with one authentic moment of elevated emotion. and trust in the ripples you create. Chapter 25. Transcending Emotional Limits. High in the mist-shrouded peaks, a mountain climber stood before an imposing cliff face. His pack bulged with equipment, ropes, tools, provisions, and countless items he believed essential for the journey ahead. Yet with each attempted ascent, the weight pulled him backward, keeping him bound to the lower slopes. One evening, as he rested in a mountain shelter, an aged climber appeared. Without speaking, the elder began removing items from their own pack, placing each one deliberately on the ground. First went the excess rope, then the backup tools, and finally, the fears disguised as preparation. With each item released, their movements became lighter, more graceful. At dawn, the elder ascended the same cliff that had defeated so many others, moving as freely as water over stone. The younger climber watched in wonder, finally understanding. His greatest obstacle was not the mountain, but the burden he carried. Your journey of manifestation follows this same principle. Each limiting emotion, doubt, fear, unworthiness, resentment, adds weight to your spiritual pack. These feelings anchor you to old patterns, preventing your ascent to higher vibrations of being. Notice how fear of failure leads you to carry backup plans that drain your energy. Observe how past hurts cause you to wrap yourself in layers of protective doubt. These emotional weights may feel like safety, but they merely hold you in place. Liberation comes through conscious release. When you identify a limiting emotion, hold it in your awareness, feel its weight, understand its origin, then choose to set it down. With each release, your spiritual being grows lighter, more capable of ascending to new heights of creation. In the valleys below, a small bird faced an approaching storm. While other creatures sought shelter, this bird spread its wings and rose to meet the turbulent air. Instead of fighting the powerful winds, it surrendered to their flow, using the very force that threatened to ground it as the means to soar higher than ever before. So too must you learn to transmute challenging emotions into fuel for growth. When doubt arises, let it guide you to deeper faith. When fear emerges, allow it to reveal new courage. Each emotional storm carries the energy needed for your elevation, if you choose to ride its currents rather than hide from its power. Take a quiet moment with your journal. Create 2 columns, what weighs me down and my liberation. In the first column, list every limiting emotion and belief you've been carrying. I'm not ready. Success is for others. I don't deserve abundance. Feel the weight of each as you write it down. In the second column, write the empowering truth that will replace each limitation. I am ready now. Success flows naturally to me. I am worthy of abundance. Close your eyes and visualize yourself standing on a mountaintop, deliberately releasing each weight into the valley below. Feel the lightness that remains, the freedom to soar that comes with emotional release. Chapter 26. Living Your Dreams Now. In a secluded valley where morning mist clung to ancient trees, lived a gardener whose flowers bloomed with extraordinary vigor. While others waited anxiously for signs of growth, this wise soul walked among empty beds with radiant joy, speaking to invisible blooms as though they already painted the landscape with color. Each morning, you see, the gardener would bow to barren soil and whisper, "Good morning, my beautiful roses. Your crimson petals bring such delight." To empty trellises they would say, "Ah, how gracefully your vines dance in the breeze." The gardener lived so completely in this vision that visitors often claimed to smell phantom fragrances in the bare earth. When the first shoots finally emerged, they grew with unprecedented speed and strength, as though racing to match the gardener's unwavering vision. The garden transformed into a paradise that perfectly mirrored the one that had lived in the gardener's heart all along. Your desires are seeds planted in the fertile soil of possibility. Like the gardener, you must nurture them not with anxiety or doubt, but with the absolute knowing of their fulfillment. Every emotion you cultivate becomes the water and sunlight that feeds your manifestations. In a distant city square, a dancer practiced alone each dawn. Though no audience filled the empty benches, she moved with the passion and presence of one performing for thousands. Her gestures carried the grace of thunderous applause. Her smile reflected the standing ovations she knew would come. Each morning she embodied the celebrated artist she intended to become. She walked with the quiet confidence of success, treated her simple studio as a grand theater, and thanked imaginary admirers with genuine gratitude. When opportunity finally knocked, she was already living as the star she would become. The universe responds not to what you want, but to who you are being. When you align your emotional state with your desired reality, you create a resonance that draws that reality into form. Your feelings are the bridge between your current circumstances and your dreams. Choose one full day to live as though your deepest desires have already manifested. Begin your morning by asking, how would I feel if my dreams were already realized? How would I carry myself? What thoughts would fill my mind? Move through your day embodying these qualities. If you desire abundance, feel the ease and generosity of wealth in every interaction. If you seek love, let your heart overflow with the joy of being deeply cherished. If you dream of success, carry yourself with the quiet confidence of accomplishment. Notice how this emotional alignment shifts your choices, your posture, your words. Let each moment become a celebration of what is becoming, knowing that your feelings are already creating the reality you desire. Chapter 27. Channeling Universal Energy Through Feeling. In a valley untouched by time, a river carved its path through ancient stone, dancing with unwavering certainty toward its destination. This river neither struggled nor doubted, for it knew its connection to the endless cycle of waters that nourish the earth. Through drought and storm, it flowed with serene trust, understanding that its waters were part of something far greater than itself. Your feelings flow like this river, connected to the infinite source of all creation. When you align with this truth, manifestation becomes as natural as water flowing downhill. You need not force or strain, for universal energy moves through your emotions just as the rain feeds the streams and the streams feed the sea. The river teaches that resistance creates turbulence, while surrender brings power. By opening yourself to the flow of divine energy, you become a channel through which miracles manifest with ease. Your feelings are the current that carries universal force into form. In a distant mountain temple, a storyteller sat in silence each evening, waiting for inspiration to move through them. They did not grasp for words or force narratives into being. Instead, they attuned their heart to what the ancients called the music of the spheres, that subtle vibration that underlies all creation. As they opened themselves to this cosmic melody, stories would flow through them with supernatural grace, touching hearts and transforming lives. The storyteller became not a creator, but a vessel through which universal wisdom found voice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to settle into your body. Imagine a brilliant light above you, the source of all creation, infinite and eternal. Feel this light beginning to flow down through your crown like a gentle stream of pure energy. Allow it to fill your body, flowing through you as naturally as water through a riverbed. Notice how this energy moves through your heart, amplifying your emotions and creative power. With each breath, sense yourself becoming more transparent, more open to this divine flow. Feel how your emotions become clearer, stronger, more aligned as this energy moves through you. You're not creating these feelings. You're allowing them to flow through you from an infinite source. Sit with this practice for several minutes, experiencing yourself as a pure channel for universal energy. Notice how your natural creative and emotional power amplifies when you surrender to this flow. Chapter 28, Emotional Alchemy. In the shadows of an ancient city, an alchemist toiled in their dimly lit workshop. Day after day, they attempted to transform lead into gold through force and resistance, growing frustrated with each failed attempt. Until one night, as moonlight filtered through dusty windows, they discovered a truth that would change everything. The lead was not their enemy to be conquered, but a teacher bearing wisdom. The alchemist began to study the lead's nature, embracing its qualities rather than fighting against them. They noticed how it yielded to gentle heat, how it responded to patient handling. In accepting the lead's fundamental character, they unlocked its potential for transformation. The metal began to shift and change, not through force, but through understanding and alignment. You possess this same alchemical power within your emotional landscape. Those feelings you label as negative, the frustration, doubt, and fear that seem to block your path, are not obstacles to be overcome. They are raw materials awaiting transformation through your conscious awareness. When you resist an emotion, you create an energetic blockage that prevents its natural evolution. But when you embrace its presence with curiosity and acceptance, you initiate an ancient alchemy that transmutes lead into gold, darkness into light. Consider how a potter approaches a misshapen vessel. In a small village, there lived such an artisan who never discarded broken clay. Instead, they saw in each crack and imperfection an invitation to create anew. One day, when their prized work shattered on the workshop floor, they didn't succumb to despair. They gathered the pieces, ground them down, and with water and patience, reformed the clay into a masterpiece more beautiful than the original. This is the way of emotional mastery. Each challenge that stirs difficult feelings offers raw material for transformation. Your frustration contains the seeds of determination. Your doubt harbors the potential for deeper faith. Your fear holds within it the blueprint for courage. Take a moment now to recall a recent challenge that stirred strong emotions within you. Allow yourself to feel these emotions fully, without judgment or resistance. Notice where they reside in your body, their texture and temperature. These sensations are not your enemies. They are messengers bearing gifts of growth and transformation. Write down the emotions this challenge awakened. Then, beside each one, explore its potential for transformation. What wisdom does your frustration wish to teach? What strength might your doubt be building? What understanding could your fear be leading you toward? Feel how this perspective shifts your relationship with these emotions. Rather than pushing them away, you're inviting them to reveal their hidden purpose. This is the ancient art of emotional alchemy, not fighting against what is, but transforming it through acceptance and awareness. Let these feelings flow through you like metal in a crucible, knowing that each moment of emotional intensity carries within it the potential for profound transformation. Your challenges are not obstacles but opportunities, not burdens but raw materials awaiting your conscious touch to reshape them into wisdom, strength, and understanding. Chapter 29, Giving and Receiving. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a merchant named Karim carefully arranged his wares each morning. Though his shop overflowed with exotic treasures, his heart remained tight with worry about having enough. Each sale brought momentary relief, quickly replaced by anxiety about restocking his shelves. One day, a child approached his stall, eyes filled with wonder at a small brass lamp. Though the child offered only a handful of copper coins, far below the lamp's worth, something stirred in Karim's heart. Following this unfamiliar feeling, he gifted the lamp to the child, watching joy illuminate their face. That evening, a wealthy trader, moved by tales of Karim's kindness, sought out his shop and purchased half his inventory. As Karim's generosity grew, so did his prosperity, flowing like a river that grows stronger with each tributary it embraces. The universe operates through cycles of giving and receiving, each flowing into the other, in perfect harmony. When you give from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you align with this natural flow. Your emotional state during the act of giving creates ripples that return to you multiplied. In a distant valley, a gardener named Maya discovered this truth through her beloved flower beds. Each spring, she carefully counted her seeds, holding back extras for fear of running short. Her garden grew but never flourished as she dreamed. Then one season, following an inner whisper, she began sharing her finest seeds with neighboring gardens. As flowers bloomed across the valley, something magical occurred. Bees traveled between the gardens, cross-pollinating the blooms. Birds carried seeds to unexpected places. Maya's garden exploded with color and variety she had never planted, gifted by nature's generous hand. Her willingness to give had opened channels for receiving she never imagined possible. Your ability to receive is directly proportional to your willingness to give, not from obligation or expectation, but from the pure joy of contributing to life's abundance. When you give from this emotional space, you declare to the universe your trust in its infinite supply. Choose something meaningful to give today, perhaps your time, attention, resources, or talents. Before giving, take a moment to connect with feelings of abundance and joy. Give not from duty or hope of return, but from the overflow of your heart. Afterward, write about the emotions you experienced during the act of giving. Notice any shifts in your energy or unexpected ways abundance flows back to you. Remember, the goal is not to give in order to receive, but to give as an expression of the abundance you already are. Through this practice, you'll discover that true wealth isn't measured by what you keep, but by what flows through you to bless others. Chapter 30. Flowing as a Divine Co-Creator. In the highest peaks of the ancient mountains, a dancer named Arya discovered the secret of flowing with universal forces. Each morning, she would ascend to practice her art, yet her movements remained rigid and controlled until the day she noticed how the mountain grasses swayed effortlessly in the wind. As you open yourself to the wisdom contained in this tale, recognize how Arya surrendered her need for perfect control. Rather than fighting against the wind, she allowed it to guide her movements. Her dance transformed into something greater than herself, a partnership with the invisible currents that shape all of creation. The universe speaks through subtle whispers and gentle nudges, inviting you to join its eternal dance. You are not separate from these creative forces, but an expression of them. When you align with this truth, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. In a distant monastery, a scribe named Theron sat before empty scrolls each dawn. Though skilled in his craft, he struggled with the weight of creating worthy words. One morning, after releasing his grip on the outcome, he felt an unseen presence guide his hand. The words that flowed through him carried wisdom beyond his understanding, touching hearts across generations. This truth beckons to you now. You are not alone in your creative journey. The same force that orchestrates the seasons and guides the stars stands ready to work through you. Your role is not to strain and struggle, but to open yourself as a channel for infinite intelligence to express itself. Take a moment to center yourself in stillness. Feel the presence of universal energy flowing through you. Now, write a personal declaration of your role as a co-creator with the universe. Begin with these words: I recognize myself as a channel for infinite wisdom. Let your declaration acknowledge both your divine nature and your trust in universal timing and wisdom. Write from your heart, affirming your commitment to flow with, rather than resist, the creative force that moves through all things. Place your declaration where you can see it daily, allowing it to remind you of your true identity as a co-creator with the universe. Conclusion. In the depths of ancient wisdom lies a truth so transformative that its ripples continue to shape reality across time. Through these teachings, you have uncovered the sacred key that unlocks the infinite potential within, your emotional power to create. Long ago, a wise woman lived in a valley where nothing grew. Each morning she would walk the barren earth, feeling deep joy and gratitude as though surrounded by a lush garden. Soon, tiny shoots emerged from the soil. As her feelings of abundance grew stronger, flowers bloomed, trees took root, and the valley transformed into a paradise that nourished all who visited. Her secret was not in the physical actions she took, but in the unwavering feelings she held within. The truth reveals itself. Your feelings are not merely responses to life. They are the very force that creates it. Each emotion you cultivate sends ripples through the fabric of existence, touching not only your reality, but the lives of all those around you. When you radiate joy, you become a lighthouse, silently guiding others toward their own transformation. Just as a single candle can illuminate a darkened room, your elevated emotions light the way for collective awakening. The power you now hold extends far beyond personal manifestation. It contributes to the evolution of human consciousness itself. Remember the ancient mantra that has been whispered through the ages: I feel, therefore I create. Let these words become your daily reminder of the sacred responsibility and infinite potential you carry. This simple truth, when embraced fully, dissolves the illusion of limitation and opens the gateway to boundless possibility. As you step forward from these teachings, know that you are not merely walking a path. You are creating it with every feeling you choose to embody. The universe awaits your emotional signals, ready to mirror back the reality you feel into being. Your journey of transformation has only begun, for you now possess the most powerful force in existence, the ability to feel your dreams into reality. The ancient masters knew this truth. When you change your emotional frequency, you change your world. As you radiate love, abundance, and joy, you become a living testament to the creative power that flows through all things. Your presence becomes a blessing, your life a demonstration of what is possible when one embraces the sacred art of feeling. Carry this wisdom forward. You are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are its expression. Through your feelings, you participate in the eternal dance of creation. shaping not only your destiny but contributing to the collective awakening of humanity. The mantra "I feel, therefore I create" is not just words. It is the key to unlocking your divine potential. Let it remind you daily of your true nature as a creator, guided by the wisdom of your heart and the power of your emotions. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.